Sundered from eastern Skyrim in years past, the cold and unforgiving land known as Western Skyrim is ruled by High King Svarium. Consisting of the holds Hafengar, Carthald, and Hjalmarch, the realm gives rise to hardy natures, brave warriors, and suspicious townfolk. Interesting. It's very interesting because you can still see this divide 2 eras later. Like, you see it in Skyrim, how very much so the western and eastern halves kind of seem to operate as different entities, less than one united front. This may be an unusually long load time. Yeah, we are relocating ourselves pretty far. Okay. Here we go. So, what we should do... Can we pick up a quest from Tinzen? Okay, we can. Tinzen.
Are you an individual with a love of There really used to be more people willing to take an unspecified amount of personal risk in the name of academic discovery. Maybe I should study what happened to them. You're still here, at least. Can I interest you in a new study?
Let me hear the details.
One of the coteries scholars has an obsession with the mysteries of Dwemer mechanisms, specifically the effects of harmonics upon soul-powered automatons. Sounds like a novel, doesn't it? Investigate a veil and the mysteries of Dwemer mechanisms.
So, what do you need from me?
We need someone to test the scholar's dissonance apparatus on some Dwemer constructs, as well as locate one of their hard cogs. The Dwemer ruin, affectionately referred to as the Scraps, should be an ideal location. I'll mark it on your map.
I'll test out the device and return with a heart cog.
You should speak with the scholar authoring the study. They're much more likely to cite you in their work once you've established a rapport.
What exactly is a dissonance apparatus?
Oh, I haven't the faintest idea. That's the best part. Whatever your findings are, it'll all be uncharted territory for me. I could use more interesting reading material while I'm out here looking for quality research assistants.
Okay. So there's a peculiar bottle we could pick up, but... Let's go see what the grocer has.
What?
Maybe he'll have the recipe? I don't know. Oh no, brewer and chef merchants sell recipes. Okay, so we found a brewer. What does it say? Maybe there's one of each. Okay, let's see. Here, the Lonely Troll. The art of lockpicking involves both sight and sound. Watch the tumblers, and when one trembles and begins to rumble, I think it said press it. We'll talk to Neil after we talk to Rizred.
A dark elf brewer told me of a dark ale that causes no hangovers. It's called Percipient Admonitions. Odd name, but if you ever learn how to make it, let me know.
I wonder if we can actually interact with him. No. Okay. So we're gonna sell this Grimshaw pendant that we got when scrying because it's just treasure. It's a good chunk of gold there as well. Anything else we want to sell? These treasures we could sell. What we should do is repair all of our gear. Okay, is there anyone else here that we can interact with? Innkeeper. Tribute player. I think that's just a person. Holy Sweet Roll Liturgy. All hail the Holy Sweet Roll. Fluffy, gooey, warm, and sweet. All hail the Holy Sweet Roll. All hail this delicious treat. All hail the holy sweet roll, drizzled with its blessed glaze. All hail the holy sweet roll, our mouths too full to call out praise. All hail the holy sweet roll, nestled in its ebony crate. All hail the holy sweet roll. This is a mouthful. Served upon its divine plate. All hail the holy sweet roll, fluffy, gooey, warm, and sweet. All hail the holy sweet roll, all hail this delicious treat. Are you alright?
The best gifts come within black sweet roll boxes. Taste the glory of pastry today by joining the First Church of the Holy Sweet Roll.
Okay. A book. Jesus of Skyrim, Whiterun, Winterhold, Eastmarch. I continue my travel journey through the holds of Skyrim with this look of cheeses at all of the cheeses of the East. Whiterun, Winterhold, and Eastmarch. Again, for the sake of brevity, I sought to capture only the most noteworthy cheese from each hold I visited. B. Ald Umber. One of the most decadent cheeses of Skyrim hails from the kingdom's breadbasket, the fertile and expansive Whiterun hold. Though, I have to admit, for all the luxuriousness that one feels when eating Ald Umber, it is neither the most complex nor challenging cheese I've encountered on my tour of the holds. Many assume by the name alone that Ald Umber is extremely aged cheese, in the tradition of Eater. That cannot be further from the truth. Rather, the name is a sign of how long the cheese has been a part of Whiterun's culinary landscape. I hazard to even call it a cheese, frankly, for its method of production is quite unlike any other cheese I know. They collect whey from curd pressings, and rather than discard it, they combine it with cream. This mixture is boiled into a wide, shallow pot over the course of many hours. The liquid becomes solid over time, and in doing so, it develops a pale brown color and caramel-like aroma, hence the name umber. Ghost flesh. The people of Winterhold, at least those who don't practice magic within the Hold's illustrious college, are a simple folk that eke out a living by working the Sea of Ghosts. There is little pasture for grazing, and the bitter winds coming off the sea are oft as not to see a herd of cattle, stricken with ague? I don't know how to say that, actually. Both cow and goat's milk are in short supply. What little is at hand is made into a fresh, soft farmer's cheese. But despite the humble circumstances, the people of Winterhold make one of the most delicious cheese dishes I've ever experienced. The elderly and the children of the Hold, too young to brave the waters of the Sea of Ghosts, spend the day collecting seaweed, which they dry for several weeks. This simple farmer's cheese is smoked over a pile of burning seaweed, imbuing it with the aroma of the sea. It is then, and this is the most marvelous part, baked, being wrapped in a pastry that is composed of flour and horker suet. This permits the brave fisherfolk to eat while working on the sea, where often they can only spare one hand at a time. When freshly baked, the molten innards of these dumplings steam and crackle, while the crust remains flaky and light, as though one were biting into the flesh of an ethereal creature. They are best enjoyed after walking several hours on Winterhold's frozen shore, chased by the onset of dusk. Mammoth cheese. The good people of Eastmarch, who proved such kind hosts to me on my travels, will likely never forgive me for glossing over their contributions to the art of cheesemaking. But given the number of giant camps within the Hold's border, I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity to wax on the singular dish mentioned in every bedside fable about Skyrim. Mammoth cheese, the single commodity produced by the giants. It is cheese of a primitive sort. They fill the stomach of a young mammoth to near bursting with the milk of a giant mammoth herd. The milk curdles, and the resulting curds are placed into hide sacks and wrung to release moisture. What remains is a paste-like mammoth cheese, unappetizing to any connoisseur and not worth the risk to acquire. What is worth remarking on, however, is the strange behavior of giants that graze their herds near the sulphurous pools in the countryside. They take their sacks of curds and boil them in the mineral-rich waters, giving the cheese a pleasing and complex bouquet that I can only liken to ash used in glass-making, called potash. Once done, the mammoth cheese becomes something worthy of the finest tables in all of the land. Interesting. So we got some tribute players. It doesn't look like we have another merchant here. But let's talk to Njol.
You look like you had a rough expedition, friend. But we in the Undaunted don't sign up to sit on cushions and drink mead, do we?
The Undaunted? What are you talking about?
Mordra can answer that better, and probably more to the point than I can. Basically, we're adventurers. You look like you'd fit in well. You've got that fearless look about you the Undaunted are known for.
I like her armor. I'll find Mordra and speak to her about the Undaunted. Oh no, our log's full. I thought we had one more. My bad.
My sails have...
Okay. Yeah, I know, dude. You've been struggling. Or they've been up of late, or whatever you said. I don't know why we still can't find the chef. Let's look in the castle. I mean, there is a very big, area in the Blue Palace that's a very big, fancy kitchen. So I imagine that there's going to be a chef there. So let's see if we can find anything there. Okay. I thought that this was the kitchen. Is it not? Someone killed this man. Kitchen? Hello?
You've seen how the Nords mark themselves. I'm here to study that phenomenon. I intend to learn how they showcase their strength and vigor. It can be breathtaking, I assure you.
Okay. I was just looking for the chef. Is there not a chef after all? Ooh. The Brothers' War. Lorebook discovered. At the height of the Akaviri invasion and Second Era year 572, the twin brothers of Princess Noomhild, Joran the Skald Prince, and Fildgor Strong Prince, also called Fildgor Angry Prince, but never to his face, were in two very different locations. Joran was in Riften with his closest companions, the Pack of Bards. Fildgor, meanwhile, was on the northern coast of Skyrim, fighting alongside his sister when the Akaviri of Dir Kamal launched their assault. As the Akaviri made their way toward Windhelm, Jorn and his companions forged their own path toward the fabled Nord city. Fildgor, meanwhile, demonstrated his fighting prowess, as well as his exalted anger, over and over again, as the battle for the coast raged on. He often led his own team of companions, the Stormfist Brigade, which consisted of members of the Stormfist clan. They had fought beside Fildgor during his pilgrimage and coming-of-age trials, and were devoted to the strong prince. Joran and Fildgor, along with their closest comrades, each arrived in time to see the gates of Windhelm break wide. The brothers fought valiantly, but they couldn't prevent the fall of the city or the death of Queens Mamjarn and Noomhild, the Brief Queen, who died defending the palace and the people they loved. The twins, who hadn't been close for several years, nonetheless fell into familiar companionship and joined forces to repel the invaders. Thanks to Joran's alliance with the Dark Elves and the unexpected but welcome assistance of the Argonians, the Akaviri invasion was at last crushed. As Joran and his forces returned to Windhelm, Fildgor stepped toward to claim rulership. The crisis was over, and he decided to push his claim. He expected Joran to acquiesce, as his brother usually did in the face of Fildgor's anger and unrestrained passion. But Joran refused. The Skald Prince decided to become the Skald King, for he had seen what Fildgor's passions were capable of. In war, he wanted Fildgor at his side, but as a leader for his people? Joran didn't really want to sit upon the throne, but he felt he had no choice. He didn't believe Fildgor would be a good ruler for his people. Enraged by Yoren's defiance, Fildgor rallied the Stormfist clan and other supporters he had throughout the realm. After all, he was a true Nord warrior, not a singer and a scholar like his brother. Yoren saw that the kingdom was headed for civil war, so he challenged Fildgor to single combat. The strong prince smiled, confident he could beat his bard of a brother easily. He accepted, and the longest 3 hours in recent history began. The brothers' war was on. The two brothers fought in the square outside the battle-damaged palace. The fight was brutal and long. Weapons clashed, parried, came together, moved apart, and drew blood. When it appeared that neither brother was going to gain the upper hand before they both collapsed from sheer exhaustion, Yoren called upon reserves no one expected him to possess. He struck Fildgor's weapon, shattering it. Then he knocked Fildgor flat and demanded his surrender. With no other option available, Fildgor surrendered, but his hatred burned and his rage surrounded him like a rolling storm. With a broken heart, Yoren exiled his brother and chastened the Stormfist clan for supporting him. Fildgor cursed Yoren's name and departed. While the Skald King went on to prove himself as a capable and beloved ruler, the strong prince was rumored to have fled the lands of Jaggerfall Covenant. Perhaps one day, the brothers' war will resume. So I think we're actually supposed to talk to Yoren.
You've caught me at a busy time.
Another person I think someone just walked in here and like attacked the people and left. So it looks like there's no chef in here. So let's just go back out into regular Solitude and be disappointed. Disappointment. Maybe we'll have to go to another town.
Well,
maybe there will be brewers and chefs. Well, we need a chef, particularly. Possibly there is a chef at Dragonbridge. We'll have to see. So we did get a new set item. DLC zones, Western Skyrim. Part of the Venomous Smite. We got the Venomous Helmet.